Hello, how's everybody doing again? This is your boy Byron Bradford, breaking it down with Brad. And this next segment, we're going to talk about the state economy, about 7 to 8, 9, 10 minutes, something like that. Okay, we got the word today that Texas eyes a $4.6 billion shortfall. I'm just going to go through a little timeline that's listed. And I think that's important also to see why the thought process here. All right, we're going to just go by the numbers. We'll hit that in a sec. Texas odds 4.6 billion revenue shortfall. That's a lot of money, especially when you thought you have a $2.9 million surplus, say $3 billion surplus. Then for the pandemics happen, then it goes back with the other way. So here we go. So it's a double whammy of virus, of oil, and woes proves costly. Texas comptroller. Our big economy here is oil. All right. Comptroller Gonna Hager on Monday said an economic slowdown caused by the coronavirus said an oil slump and erasing a $2.9 million surplus that was expected for the state's current 2-year budget. So number one, it's good to forecast, but no one could forecast the situation that we're currently in. Okay, the 2-year budget cycle producing instead a 4.6 billion revenue shortfall. It's such a big number. It's a pretty big gap that Hagel says. Got it. But I think more importantly, he says economic forecast in the second quarter moved from projections of modest growth to modest decline. When you're talking about economics, you got contraction. You got contraction like this, expansion. Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. Okay, they go up and down. Let's just start marking up, expansion, contraction. All right. And he goes on to say, did a lot of assuming too, but he goes on to say, Patrick said of the 4 points, Dan Patrick, yeah, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, remember that name, as co-chairman of the legislative board, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Speaker Dennis Bonham of Angleton applauded Hager for emphasizing how uncertain the state situation is and many unknowns amidst this pandemic. Okay, Patrick said of the $4.6 billion shortfall, it could be a lot lower if COVID is in our rear view mirror more in the fall. I don't know that's going to happen, but you got to wear a mask. I think I'll bring my mask up here, but yeah, you got to wear a mask. But he did acknowledge Hager could also be right or turn out to be very optimistic. Okay, but for his new forecast, Hager said he assumes restrictions on individuals and businesses caused COVID-19 will be lifted by the end of the year. So, and that economic activity will gradually increase. This is going to be a marathon to get things back on the right border, back on the right where we need to be as far as expanding and not contracting. I'd rather expand slowly, but when we're expanding, I think we're going to be okay. Just a couple key dates. Remember, you may not remember, but I'm going to refresh your memory here a little bit. March 6th, South by Southwest gets canceled. That's something I used to go to all the time in Austin. March 11th, this is Texas again. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo gets shut down. Okay, March 13th, Governor Greg Abbott declares a state of disaster for all counties in Texas. 9 days later, 8 days later, here comes Comptroller again, Hager. He says, hey, he warns Texas legislators, that significant contraction means things got tight. People kept their hand in their pocket. They didn't put out to go buy anything because things were happening. It's the economy signaled a recession. Okay. 1 day later, 23rd and 24th, within 48 hours, several major cities and counties in Texas began using stay-at-home orders. So within 48 hours of Comptroller Glenn Hager telling them, hey, signal of recession, 23rd, 24th, got the stay-at-home orders, now they can't go to work, everybody, so it just got worse. So 31st, 7 days later, 1 week, he comes back, Governor Abbott says he issued an executive order limiting social interaction to essential services. That was pretty fast. April 28th, Abbott reopens restaurants, retailers, and other businesses with restrictions. Abbott pauses reopening on. I'm sorry, we go back July 25th, 26th. He pauses reopening, takes actions on reclosing of bars. Okay, there's a couple things wrong with that picture. First of all, I know what our GDP. 70% of our GDP is consumerism. We spend. Unfortunately, we don't save as much as we spend. So that the fact you guys think about that. So if people can't spend, that's going to automatically it's going to affect your budget. Especially if you have 70% of your budget is consumerism. People don't have the money to spend, whether it's jobs, whatever the case may be. And this is a lead up to another segment I'm going to do here shortly, dealing with the $1,200 stimulus check, how that money was, quote unquote, used. How you use your business, but I'm going to show you some correlations there in a little bit. But again, yeah, so we got to buckle up, Texas, and I guess one way to, as we move forward and everything's turning green, you got to figure out how to be innovative and slowly, we're going to need oil, but we can wean ourselves. It shouldn't be our number one source of energy. You know, it shouldn't be our number one source of energy. And the fact that it is in 2020 is problematic. And I think when you have a pandemic as we have right now, I think you can see the problem with that. So if we can get 50-50, that's great. That way we can create some new businesses, some new innovation. We live in a very innovative society. I guarantee somebody has a plan right now that we can utilize to facilitate transitioning 50% energy, 50% green. If we can just do that, I think we'll be fine. But if we were to, I don't see nothing wrong with, I guess, looking at some other possibilities of increasing our revenue through diversifying slowly. Keep the oil, that's fine. But I think we need to diversify, find other methods of get more revenue. The bottom line is, instead of cutting, let's find out how can we generate more revenue for the citizens of Texas, where we don't have our quality of life interrupted. All right. But anyway, thank you for your time again. This segment was brought to you by B12 Fitness Group, www.b12training.fit.com. Check it out. Got a lot of stuff on there. Protein shakes. Then we got the amino boost. All right. Muscle amino boost, XXL, increases muscle protein synthesis, activates new muscle growth, and improves recovery from intense training. Check it out. B12 amino boost. Let's go. Again, 8 minutes, man. We cooking like Crisco. All I'm gonna tell you about the weather is it's hot, so drink lots of water. Wear your mask, and I'll see you next time. Don't worry, be happy.